Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jamie McDonald and Mike Baining here. Mirrorless Minutes, episode number 38. Can you believe it? 38?
Whoa.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
And we do these every other week. So
Yeah,
we've been doing
exactly.
this for a minute.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. About a minute.
Well, it got dark really quick. I
Uh-huh.
was hoping that we'd be able to see out the window
I
of your
know.
hotel room so that we can share what's in the background, which are palm
Yeah, and I
trees.
do I do have palm trees behind me. It looks like curtains actually. Let's see. I don't know if you can't. No, you can't tell. Forget it.
We'll have to take the audience will have to take your word for it. I saw
Yeah,
him to prove
yeah, they
Mike's
were there.
not in Michigan. He's not
No.
dealing with this crazy cold wind that we're getting.
Oh
He's
yeah.
actually in a nice warm climate.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful West Palm. Well, in Florida. And it is nice. 86. Only
Yeah.
problem is if you got a cold, that's when it's
Oh, yeah.
you know.
Yeah. While you're in West Palm, all you have to do is just find a Bentley to sit in and
That should
absorb
be all
some of the
right.
smell of that leather. It'll clear your sinuses right up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So it's gonna be a quick and easy show tonight. I don't think we're gonna break the 30-minute mark by much
Yeah.
if we do it all. Not a whole lot to talk about. A few things though. So I want to start off one that's kind of like a
Mhm.
news thing, and it was news that broke really just a little while ago today, and that is update for Adobe Creative Cloud for Photoshop and Lightroom. And I was really excited when Mike posted the update that there's support for the Pen
Yes,
F.
finally.
And it's funny because now I have to go back through and resynchronize like all these folders in my Lightroom library
Me
so that
too.
it will pick up on all the raw files. But I have been working with a few of the raw files before we started the show tonight, and I know I get drilled every day, asking how do the files compare to the EM5
Yeah.
Mark II compared to the EM1, the EM10, the EM10 Mark II, this and that, and I'm like, holy smokes! Okay, for one thing, I'm just working with JPEGs, and in all honesty, I really don't see like a huge difference. I mean, it's a bigger file size, so I can crop in a little bit more. I've got that little bit of leeway with it. But
Mhm.
as far as image quality goes, I honestly haven't been seeing like this crazy difference from camera to camera. Um, they do look different, and maybe that's you and I talked before the show
Right.
started that maybe it's all in my head, but I swear from camera to camera there are these little nuances that are different from one to the other, and
Mhm.
the Pen F does have its own look and feel to it, I think, but quality
Yeah.
wise, I don't think that you're going to see a whole lot of difference. Now with the raw files, and I'll share examples probably on the next show, because I want to do some side by sides. But I
Right.
think that I can eke out a little bit more dynamic range
Yep.
from the raw files. Not huge. I mean, we're not talking like the difference between going from a point and shoot to like one of these cameras or something like that. But it was noticeable enough that I could pull a little bit more detail out of the shadows. So again, I want to do a side by side of the same scene with two different camera bodies,
Right.
process them identically. But so yeah, that's
Yeah, I
kind
think
of
I think if anything, after processing and going through so many JPEGs while I worked with that deal at the PenF, I think that there might be a little bit more you can do, just a little bit more with the JPEG, but like you said, it's not groundbreaking.
right. Yep.
And maybe at times, actually, I even boosted the ISO up to about 8,000 on some night shots. But that's if I'm shooting in like the profile 2, so I
Yeah.
know it's going to be deep, dark shadows, and
Yep.
you really have to massage those things when you're going deep into the night like that. But it's worth trying.
Oh yeah.
You get a different look for
Yep.
sure.
Without a
So
doubt.
yeah, but it's great news, and I saw it from Reba.
Okay.
Reba posted it. And I had, of course, I was lucky enough to have internet on the plane, so I'm checking out my stuff on the plane. I went, "Oh crap, you
Nice.
just posted." So yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
But
it was.
Reba didn't say something like we'll see if she's watching. She didn't say she bought one yet. I don't know what's going on there.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
I don't know. Yeah, because she said all you Pen F owners.
right?
So I don't know if she's part of the club yet or not.
No, yeah, we'll see.
she puts her hands on one, she'll probably be an owner really quick.
That's what happened to Vicky.
That's what happened to Andy at
Yep.
the our first meetup that we had this past weekend in Ann Arbor. This gentleman that was there, Andy, Panasonic user. I don't remember which body he had,
Yeah.
GH3 or something like that, and he'd been wanting to check out the Pen F, and He says, "Do you mind? Can I mess with it?" I'm like, "Yeah, put one of your own memory cards in it, throw your lenses on it, and shoot with it and check it out, and ask whatever questions you want." And he had a few questions here and there, how to do this or that, and he says, "Yeah, I think I really want this. I think I really want this." And I said, "Well, let me know if you're going to do it, and I'll give you a promo code to use at the Olympus website and knock a little bit of money off it, probably cover your sales tax."
Right.
And that night, I got an email from him saying, "Hey, you said you have a promo code. Can you give me the promo code?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And the very next day, you got to get another email. I ordered it, and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome, dude."
Did he get a silver one? Did you?
He got the silver one. Yeah. He was excited about that. There was another couple that were there, and the young lady in the couple, she kind of leaned over and said, "I really want that camera." And I think I'm not sure if they're engaged or if they're boyfriend, girlfriend. And he looked over and smiled and nodded his head. So I know that theirs is coming too. So it's amazing that it's one of those things where you see the pictures of it, and you think, man, that looks really cool, and you hear people talking about it. But it's, again, one of those things where once you get your hands on it, and you take a few test shots and see how it feels, it's an instant sell.
We had Lou Peoples on the thing. Brand new, just got it from Camera Mall. Lou, our Leica shooter. So
right, yeah.
That tells you something.
That's exactly right. That's just what I was going to say. If
he was traveling on business this week, and I messaged him. I said, "So what camera do you got in your bag?" And it wasn't the Leica. So I'll just leave it at that. What do you think it is? But
right,
yeah, he loves it, man. He loves it. It is
good deal.
A really good deal. So. But what else?
Okay, so I got a big heavy thing in my hands here. That sounded weird. Okay, so so it is. I've been hinting at this and talking about it and making mentions of it on my vlog, and I don't know if I mentioned it on the show. I think I did. That I was waiting for it, but it arrived. So this is the EM5 Mark II with the Mzuiko 7-14 2.8 Pro, but aside from that being awesome, this is what I want to talk about. And this is a filter that is for this lens. So
that's awesome.
Let me show you the lens first. For people who aren't familiar, this lens has a very protruding element in the front. There's no way you're going to be able to screw on a filter onto that because of its shape, because it's such a wide lens. So you need a special way to put filters on. And a friend of ours over in the UK, Phil Norton, 3D prints this adapter right here. And this adapter slips over the lens, and it's got these little tabs. There we go. Might be the easier way to point them out.
Do those clip into the sides or something?
So the little tabs actually fit into the divots or the valleys here on your pedal hood. There's a gasket in here that actually helps to, it's like a compression gasket, so it seals the filter up against the lens, and you basically just kind of rock it on like this until it's seated all the way down. So the gasket seats it up against there and also prevents any light leak coming in from like behind the lens or whatever. This accepts 100 by 150 millimeter filters. Phil is, I'm going to plug the hell out of this guy because he totally sent over like the hookup here. So like I said, it holds 100 by 150 millimeter filters, and the brand that Phil recommends, and I hope I'm saying this right, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, it's Nisi, Nisi. And this is the version 5 filter holder. So this part right here, the rails and this ring actually attached to the 3D printed portion. So you would buy the I just heard a ding. Is that you or me?
No, that's me.
Okay.
But we did have a new photo posted to our last meetup.
Okay, cool. I was thinking, wow, like I got a notification that somebody talking to us. So basically, the ring attaches to the 3D printed portion. The ring is the version 5 of the Nisi filter holders, and Phil sent over a reverse IR graduated filter. So it's like a mouthful, and it's going to take me a second to get it out of the nice leather pouch because I'm always freaky about getting fingerprints on these things. I don't know why. I'm sure it's totally fine to get a fingerprint on it. Just wipe it off. So this is a reverse IR graduated filter, which I never used a reverse IR or reverse grad. So basically it's darker in the center and then fades out to the end. So that way it's perfect for sunrises and sunsets because as the sun is on the horizon, you've got the darkest portion of it here.
Yep.
And you can see it's coated. You get this purple tint going there. Yep. That's because of the coating on this. And
those are large, eh?
They're big. Yes, it's really big. But you need that size in order to get the coverage over the 7 to 14 because it's such a wide lens. I won't put the filter in, but basically, for those who've never used a filter, it slides in right here. The rail system right now is set up to hold 2 filters, so I could stack filters one on top of the other. So if I wanted like a warming filter, or if I wanted like a big, 8-stop filter on top of it or whatever to do a longer exposure, I could stack those.
Right.
It's really cool. So if I'm shooting in portrait orientation, I just pull up on this little tab and I rotate it around. So far, from all the shots that I've done, after speaking with Phil, I figured out that you can totally shoot this with no vignetting. A couple of my initial shots showed actually the edges of the bar on here. It's because I didn't have this seated all the way back.
Exactly. Yeah,
so it's such a.
I was going to ask you.
Yep, it's such a precise build that it's required to be precise because of how wide the field of view is. That if you have this not seated down by literally like a millimeter, these rails will show up in your shot. So you need to be really careful of that. And of course, me being the tool that I am, I don't have his page pulled up. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to open up Phil's page really quickly here so I can give you an idea of what this adapter costs, because I know people are always asking, where does that run? How much is that?
And that's he's out of the UK too, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, so you're paying, I mean, you're a little bit different.
Right. And you will oh good grief. You don't have to worry about him like shipping overseas. He has no problem shipping overseas. Right. Actually, one of our friends and viewers, Bob Panic, he purchased one after some discussion that was going on. And let's see. Here we go. So the 7 to 14, this page is just a little tough to navigate. And of course, it's in pounds. And I'm not going to convert it. I'll let people do the converting on their own. So if you wanted the adapter and the filter holder, which you're going to want, it's 152 pounds. I'm not sure what the conversion is, to be honest with you. And then, you could shop around and get whatever you wanted for filters. You don't necessarily have to get the Nissi brand. There are other brands that will that fit that size range. I think Lee has some in that size. And there was another brand, and I cannot remember the name of it. Tiffin does. Yes. Yeah. Yep. And I think, I don't know if Stingray does square filters or not, but anyways, you've got different filter options, but 152 pounds, whatever that converts to in your
$216.
$216. And that's really not bad because Phil ships it with, I told you there's like a rubber sealing gasket in there. He made sure to send over, spare gaskets and hardware for the rails. And it's all top-notch build. The material that he 3D prints this out of is non-reflective, which it's one of those things where, I guess you don't think about it until you get the product in your hand, and then you realize, wow, I guess it has to be non-reflective. So
you're right.
The material that he's using to 3D print, it's non-reflective. And I grilled him about this. Whatever type of 3D printer he's using is phenomenally good. I've got a lot of experience with 3D printed products, and the resolution or the detail that this prints at is just astounding to me. You cannot. I thought it was injection molded.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's that good of work. So I have no problem recommending this to anybody. And like I said, and I know it sounds expensive, and it's not cheap, but you're not going to find another filter setup, I don't think, that's going to be as good that I've seen yet on the market.
Yeah, and you can't get the Lee 7, which is made that I have for Micro Four Thirds. They don't even make that one. I mean, that would be triple.
And the Lee 7, those filters aren't that big, are they? They're not 100 by 150. So they wouldn't cover that lens anyways.
Nope.
No. So so can I do start image share? I'll do image share because I want to get to a couple of shots that were shot with that.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, go right from here to that.
So let me jump into that. The first couple of photos won't be using that filter. But anyways, I'll show you. So the first one is actually just a shot that was taken on our maiden meetup meeting that we had in Ann Arbor. And I'm telling you, I love Ann Arbor. It's a cool town. I think Ann Arbor hates me, especially I think Ann Arbor and Mother Nature get together and say, let's just piss Jamie off, because every time I do something in Ann Arbor, it's either raining or snowing or some crappy weather. But Sunday was no exception. Our first meetup, we did have 12 people who braved like the miserable weather to come and shoot. So it still turned out really fun, even though we all got soaked. And this is just with the Pen F, and this is Mono Profile 2, which is that really grainy, gritty, Tri-X looking film emulation. I love it. And I'm not Mike. I can't do the street shooting thing. So I give it a shot, though, when I can. So this is just a passerby actually in front of the camera mall where we started off our walk. The next shot was one that I shot yesterday just out walking. And I don't know why, but I love this shot. And I like it because the dog is not in focus. The guy is the subject in the background. But this kind of out of focus, like dead-eyed looking dog staring at you just kind of makes it for me. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. The dude's weird, so that makes it even better. And then I went – it's different. And then I went from where this guy was at, I walked over to this abandoned factory and walked around. And I vlogged about it yesterday, which I'll talk maybe a little bit about later. And when I'm out like doing urbex or just exploring these places, I'm always looking for these little things laying around that feel like they've got a story to them, hidden away in there. And tucked away kind of in these weeds near this brick building, I saw this little kid's toy that was just laying there. And you know how little kids are, if this is like a toddler's toy, and a toddler's not going to want to just let that toy go, so it just kind of had this sad look to it. This is Color Profile. Good grief. I want to say it's 2, whichever one is the more poppy of the two. And I can't remember off the top of my head because I switch back and forth so much from them, but straight out of the camera, JPEG with the 60mm macro. If you watch my vlog from yesterday, you'll see me talking about it. Now, the last 2 photos are ones that were shot using Phil's filter. Now it is, I do have it listed as like HDR. You can see it in the file name, but it's not really like a stacked image. It's just a single file that I ran through HDR Effects Pro 2. It's not like a full-blown HDR. I didn't do like a whole bunch of tone mapping with it, believe it or not. It's just pretty much just a contrast adjustment. You can see the issue that I was talking about that Phil clarified for me. Right up here on this side, you can see this dark spot, and that's actually the filter rail because I didn't have it pushed back in. But in all honesty, just not a whole lot of adjustment to this picture. It's just what the filter will do. You can see that the sun was right on the horizon, and that's where the darkest part of that filter that I have was at. So it really toned that down. And the last shot, again, this was a bracketed shot, though. This was 3 shots at two exposure values or 2 stops each. Again, using Phil's filter. And there was not a whole lot of cloud action back here, so it was pretty much direct sunlight. So without having that filter in place, there's just no way it could have pulled it off. Even with HDR, this would have been extremely blown out. In Lightroom, the finished product, it doesn't clip, so the whites aren't even so exposed that they blew all the way out. Again, you couldn't do that without some sort of a filter in place. And you'll notice on this one, in the upper corners, there's no issue because I actually had everything seated back in place properly. And I'm just, there we go. I'm learning a lot more about, where we go, stop. Jeez, oh Pete. I'm learning a lot more about using filters. It's not something that I spent a whole lot of time doing in the past. And now that I got my hands on a filter system that I can use with an ultra wide angle lens, I think that's going to change. I can see myself using filters a lot more, actually.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know what? There's some good uses. I'm thinking, like always, I like to use those with the
live composite. Oh yeah,
and just kill the clouds. That last shot is fantastic. So
thank you.
That thing is just, I love that. That's probably just, where is that? Even, is it near that abandoned building?
No, it was just, it's literally like maybe a mile from my house, just outside of town. I was racing for the sunset because we finally had sun.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so as I saw the sun going down, I got back from doing my walk at the factory, and
Yep.
as the sun started to go down, I thought, oh my God, I gotta get out. I gotta do some more shots with this filter system. And
Yeah.
I just booked down the road, and I took a left on the first road that I came to and saw this building. And I was like, all right, cool, I'm taking it.
Yeah, that is really sharp. And I do love the dog one though. The eyes are fantastic.
Yeah.
That is definitely like a profile number 2, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
That was really, really cool. All right, let's see. I'll let me go into what's going on, and this will lead right to what I was going to talk about too, and maybe there. Okay, do you see the law library up there?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, so yeah, the last 2 weeks have been Ann Arbor for me. One, I went out there with Lou because he wanted to. We were supposed to meet up with Jamie actually, and when Jamie is serious about the weather, it's the same exact thing for me. I have a whole folder called Ann Arbor. Every one of my pictures is either major snow or rain. There's never a nice picture in there. So this is the law library at the University of Michigan on spring break, which is a fantastic time to shoot it. You can almost picture, Harry Potter sitting in there somewhere. But this is with the Pen F, and this one actually is a bracketed shot, handheld bracketed shot. And then I converted them to TIFFs actually. Of course, we didn't have the raw converter yet. And then put them together. I think I used actually that Aurora HDR for this one too. So just an amazing place. I mean, you can't say much more about it. When you got to go there, if you go to U of M, you've got to at least see this place for sure. The next one is last weekend. This is probably why I'm sick right now too. Now that I think about it, walking around for 2.5 hours in the rain. Pouring rain, but this just sort of this is actually one of our people had a meetup was just saying I can't come outside and not slosh around in puddles, so he kept doing that and shot with the EM5 Mark II and got totally soaked, of course, but that's fine, all weather sealed, and it was great. So, but prior to that, and we're going to go a little bit back in time, the week before I was out in Texas. Going all over the place, out head down to McAllen. I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but that is the border. I mean, it's as far south as you can get almost in Texas before Mexico. Out there in business. So as you go through these little towns, this is one of the movie theaters that actually I did some research on. It was closed down in 1980. I was just thinking if that was 1980 in Detroit, there'd have been so much gone off of that thing. But nobody goes by these places, and this is just going through these are towns that have tumbleweed going through them, and everyone asks me, that is real observant of the shot is, did I go in? Because if you notice on the far right corner, it is the door's open. So I'll just leave it at that. We'll go from there. Okay, but in Texas, the next thing I did is the next couple of days I drove back up to Austin because I did an event for Olympus called the Drink and Click. They of course they want to bring me into a bar since I don't drink. That always helps. But you don't need to drink to attend the Drink and Click. But our friend Juan Gonzalez, he does an amazing job with this Drink and Click, and we got to get one of these in Michigan or Detroit or something someday because they are a blast. This here is this is East Austin. I shoot Austin all the time, down 6th Street, but I've never been down into East Austin. And I was down there with Jim Nix, follower here on Mirrorless Minutes and a shooter from Austin, amazing shooter. And we're actually going to have him on. He just wrote a whole book on Austin of if you're going to be in Austin, where to shoot. And he's got a great ebook out right now. So maybe we could put a link to that too in the show notes. But we'll have him on as a guest, which will be awesome. But so he showed me around East Austin, which is really this was a rougher area apparently in the past. But it's really coming back real artsy, and this is where our event was with Olympus and the Drink and Click. So we'll just quickly talk about that. What the Drink and Click is. This, if anybody knows about South by Southwest, the tech, movie, music event for 11 days in Austin, 80,000 people come in for it. This year, Obama actually kicked off. President Obama kicked off the event with some kind of speech. So I mean, it was packed. It's just packed, and these events. So you get people coming like all over like crazy. So this Drink and Click, Olympus comes in, has gear that you can borrow and use, and they're put along with a bar, and there was free beer, free food, and millennials, and look out. So 10,000 people RSVP'd. Now, they didn't all show up. Apparently everybody RSVPs for everything at South by Southwest, but we counted, and it was pouring rain too the whole night. We counted about 700 people standing in pouring rain to get in to see the cameras. We ran through all the cards that we had. We were just busy. Charles Garcia and Brett Kennedy from Olympus. Oh my God, these guys were pounded at the table. I was getting pushed around, and I'm going to show you the crowd. This was the crowd in one of the rooms. And I'm actually taking the picture, but I was down here in the crowd getting bounced around. And the people here, Charles Garcia, they're loaning out equipment, and everybody's running around to try to take pictures. We had a model you can see over here in the corner with the ice light there. And then a whole nother room outside here, twice the size of this, was packed with people. And just people asking questions about Olympus. I mean, it was crazy. It was a world record, I guess we'll say, for a wine and Drink and Click. That's what he said. He said it was just, and this whole thing wasn't a bar. It was a bunch of like offices for artists. It was a collective, it's called. And I mean, people standing outside. It was pouring rain for hours. So this is just as we're getting ready to give away the camera, and I thought I'd show a picture of this person here. And actually, this camera and the event too is put on by Precision Camera, really the best camera store there is in Austin, in my opinion, and of course because they sell Olympus too. But they gave away an EM10 Mark II with a 14-42 easy lens, and this girl was more than excited that she had won it. Yeah, so really, really a cool event. Lots of fun, and I love doing those things. I'm back on. Yep, got that off. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that event was crazy. I know we did one before in New York when we were at the summit, and there's probably 100+ people at that.
Yep,
that little bar, and it was packed.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it. I'm still laughing that we got through that thing without somebody getting trampled, because people were behind the table. We were trying to say, "Hey, get out of here."
Oh man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So, but if you're in Austin, one thing I would do is, well, two things. I'd get Jim's book. It's like $7.99. It's great price, and it's if you've ever read Chris Smith's book on Chicago. This is very similar. Hey, here's where you can go, where you can carry a tripod, inside, indoors in the state capitol, the whole thing. And then secondly, I'd hit down to East Austin, because that is a cool place. I've never done that before. So it's definitely worth getting down into. So yeah, a lot of fun. And again, more travel.
Right. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Sure. So you want to take just a quick second to talk about the Philly workshop and like what we've got for space left on that workshop? Yeah,
we've got like 2 seats left, so we are close. We're close to filling it up, and we sold a couple more, the other week. And look, this is going to be an easy workshop for very inexpensive. Jamie and I are not going out like a lot of other people that charge these prices that are off the wall. $600, $700. I mean, this is very inexpensive.
Yep.
Come out to Philly. We're going to go. I will guarantee you, because I've done the walk, this exact walk that we're doing, you will be dead at the end of the night, whether you want it to be or not, just from doing the walk. But I mean, we'll get street shooting. We'll get urban exploration without breaking into a building at the East State Penitentiary. You just pay for a tripod. It's very calm. It's relaxed. You don't have to worry about the police taking you away. It's actually open to the public. We'll have street shooting, urban exploration, live composite shooting. Then we'll also have cityscape, sunrise, sunset, and then huge naval ships we'll just call it the ship graveyard of the Navy.
Cool.
And that's where we're actually staying. That's in the Naval Yard of Philadelphia. And I think we got this other really cool place. You know probably better than I. You're the skateboarder. And we're going to try to get to in Philly. It's like one of the high-end, cool skateboarding places.
Cool.
Right. I mean, you've heard the name. I can't remember what it is. But that'll be a blast, too. Because that draws a different crowd. So all that for a quick day and a half, I mean, it's easy drive, our transportation if you're on the East Coast, and Philly, everybody can fly into pretty good places. Yep. So that's in July 17th, 18th, 18th, 19th. I can't remember. Right there. We'll put it on link on the website and you can sign up, and man, we'd love to have you. You don't have to be mirrorless by any means. There'll be people that aren't mirrorless there.
Yep.
But hey, whatever you want to shoot, bring your iPhone. We're fine.
Then one last mention while we're on the subject of workshops, and that's the workshop that I'm doing with Alex McClure in Arizona in May. So Steve Huff Photo and Olympus have teamed up to do a giveaway. So we're going to give away attendance for one person to attend the workshop. You'll have to provide your own transportation there, but the admission to the workshop is free of charge if you win, and that's like $1,000 savings. Wow. So enter it if you can. It's actually, you'd be like the last person able to get into the workshop. All of the other slots have been sold out. And how do you get into it? How about you just submit like your best outdoor photo, and you submit it to share it on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and use the hashtag Olympus Outdoors, all one word, Olympus Outdoors. Submit your best stuff, man. Tag it, get it out there so that Steve Huff and Olympus can check it out. And they're going to select a winner on March 31st. And if you win, all you got to do is show up out in Arizona and your attendance is covered. And the workshop is going to be up in the mountains in Scottsdale, just outside of Scottsdale at this Nordic Center. We'll be at 8,000 feet above sea level. One of the darkest places in the United States. So if you've ever wanted to, it's like mind-bendingly dark, like freaky dark. And, so if you've ever wanted to shoot the Milky Way or do like super long exposure star trails, or even something way more extreme than that, is Alex has gotten his hands on a couple of telescopes and a tracking head. So you can do like super deep space photos. Like he's been posting pictures of the Orion Nebula, just taken with a 150 millimeter lens. So think about that. If most people are excited to shoot like the Big Dipper or something, who even imagines shooting nebula in space? You're going to be able to do that with us there. So, and that's just the nighttime. During the day, we're going to do day excursions to like the Grand Canyon and outlying areas, and probably Sedona, the Red Rocks area in Sedona. So beautiful area. Yep. What's the hashtag again? So the hashtag is Olympus Outdoors, and share it like on the Olympus Facebook page or on Twitter or Instagram. And like I said, you've got till the 31st of the month. It's about 2 weeks. Excellent. I don't think I can get in that, can I? I bet you I can. Win it. Darn it. That would be a good one. I'd like to go. So I guess that's it. Yeah. I think we went 4 minutes over. I didn't even think we were going to make it 30, but I can talk. So
we can
push us over the edge.
But so we've got, I know the next show I'll have a good tip for some on our Olympus menu, and everybody loves a menu tip. And let me just mention about that tip. Okay. When Mike said what he was going to say, I thought, well, duh. I mean, I know that. And then before the show, I questioned him about it, and I'm like, wait, wait, I don't know this. Like, why do I not know this? I've been shooting with these cameras forever. Why have I not noticed this before? So it's a good tip. It's a good tip. Yeah, you need to come back. You have to. You need to subscribe in order to see it. Right. It's only going to be visible to subscribers. There you go. So,
All right, I guess we'll cut out of here. I know Mike wants to get some rest. He's traveling
Yep.
crazy over like the next
Yep.
week and a half, 2 weeks, and he's sick to boot. So, so until the next show, you guys, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell everybody you know, your mother, your grandmother, your neighbor's dog. It doesn't matter. Everybody needs to subscribe to Mirrorless Minutes. Right. And there'll be links to everything we spoke about in the show down below. Talk to you guys in a couple weeks.
See ya.